everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The DRF race of the day for Saturday, October the 29th is presented by DRF Bets, and it's one of two graded stakes races at Keeneland. Race number 9 is the Grade 2 Fayette. $350,000 is the purse. We're going 1 1/8 miles. Let's take a look at this field. Please scan the QR code for race of the day access on your mobile device. First Captain, 6 to 5 on the morning line. West Point Thoroughbreds, Shug McGahee. Third of the Jockey Club last time out. This horse wants distance and maybe just needs a little bit of pace.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know that he's, I don't think I'd characterize him as, some kind of plotter, Dan, but he's not going to be forward early in this race. It's a pretty short field. So I guess dynamics could work against him. This is a great spot for him, though.
Pace could very well be the key to this race. However, we throw up the Timeform US pace projector. They have it as a blue bar scenario, favoring horses on or near the early lead. Now, Last Samurai has shown some speed in the past, most notably 2 starts back going a 1.5 turn mile at Ellis Park. I think if West Will Power breaks from the inside, though, they're going to go with that horse.
I looked at it the same way. I do think, both the 1 and the 6 will be going forward in here, but certainly with the inside advantage, you might see West Will Power on the early lead.
I'm a huge fan of West Will Power. The number 1, Joel Rosario, takes the mount for Brad Cox. And this is a horse that just missed a lot of time after running in the 2021 Parks Dirt Mile. It looks like he's starting to get his feet back under him. Second start for Cox last time out. He was able to make the lead. He backed down the fractions. He sprinted on home. Yes, the trip was in his favor. I loved his gallop out. He must have galloped out by 100.
Yeah, I mean, he ran really well last time, and now they're going to, step him back up in class. Third off the layoff. He has the back races to handle it. The distance is no problem. The pace scenario could really work in his favor. There's plenty to like about this horse.
The number 2, Chess Chief, tried to stay closer to the place last time out in the Lucas Classic, but he's more of a one-run closing type, and I think we've kind of seen Chess Chief. He's run in these races before. He always seems to come up just a little bit short. His last victory came in the 2021 New Orleans Classic, and just with the pace not expected to be fast, it could really work against him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very reliable horse. He'll always show up, and run a representative race. Dan, he's probably a couple below, some of the really good horses in this handicap division. I don't know that he's necessarily got another graded stakes race with his name on it out there, but, we'll see. He's going to be a price in here if you like him.
Folsom's going to stretch back out around 2 turns after running in the ACAC at Churchill Downs on October the 1st. He sort of just passed some tired horses in that race. I think he is more effective around 2 turns. He has won at Keeneland. He is a stakes winner at 1 1/8 miles. He's always been a solid horse. He's a millionaire. Maybe he just needs to run a little bit faster, but he does have back races on his page that make him a contender.
Yeah, he's good enough to win this race, but we were talking about the pace before as it pertains to the favorite First Captain. This is a horse who I think is most compromised by the way this race might be run. He doesn't really have any speed, Dan. He likes to sort of sit back and try to make one run, and that may not work for him in this race.
First Captain, the number 4, showed a lot of ability earlier in his career, but he's really found himself when given more distance. He won the Pimlico Special on Preakness Week. He ran very well in the Suburban, the Just Drop a Nose decision. And then they ran him in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, a Grade 1 race at Saratoga. The pace was not fast in this race. They went 49 3 to the half. First Captain and Louis Saez were really being ridden along on the turn to get into contention, and he just stays on and runs a really nice third.
Yeah, the dynamics really worked against him here. It also hurt him a little bit that the 1-2 finishers are both really good horses. But, First Captain, you could see early on, Saez wanted to get him more forward than he usually is. He wound up wide. He was hard-ridden for a long way. I thought he actually ran pretty well to be third. Again, I just think he's going to be really tough for this field to handle if he shows up with his good race.
Yeah, he certainly lost ground going into the first turn. He was about 4 wide then, and then the pace just wasn't there for him. He tried hard. He, as you say, he is not a one-run closer. He could probably sit in the second flight, third or fourth, and he's the horse to beat off of that last race. I know you've been a big King Fury fan for most of his career. He is a graded stakes winner at Keeneland. He won the Lexington over Sloppy Going in 2021, and he's only making his 3rd start of the form cycle. I think he might have needed his first race back from April 2 back in the Fort Laurent. He ran okay, I thought, in the Lucas Classic last time out. He saved ground at the back, maybe caught a little bit of traffic in the stretch, but he ran on for 3rd behind 2 horses that are heading for the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Yeah, it was a pretty tough field last time. Listen, believe me, I have been a fan of his. I looked really closely at those last two performances. Dan, just really at 8-1, trying to find a reason to talk myself into taking one more shot with this horse. I mean, I didn't really feel like he did that much running in either of those last two starts. I remain a fan. I'm starting to lose the faith a little bit.
And Mr. Lucas sends out the 6 Last Samurai. Tom Form US believes this horse will be forwardly placed. He should be if he runs back to the tactics of 2 starts back, where he was up close to the pace and earned a 96 Beyer speed figure. Now, he is a graded stakes winner with his career best Beyer of 102 at this distance, 4 starts back. And if you just want to say, the Charlestown Classic is a race. There wasn't a lot of pace going on in there. It's a weird configuration. He didn't have to like it. You got an excuse, and you got a 96 Beyer staring you in the face.
Yeah, I don't care about that most recent start. I guess he ran fine 2 starts back. I think it's, at least worth pointing out that the horse that he basically dueled around the track with was the horse that won the race. So it's not like last summer I had some kind of big excuse there. To me, he's kind of got one race, Dan. That's that Oaklawn, the grade 2 back in April, that would give him a real shot here. His other races put him up against it a little bit.
Before we get to our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for all the latest DRF video offerings. Top pick time for the Fayette. Well, I'm going to do it for you. You couldn't come up with King Fury, so I will. I'm going to give him one more chance in this race. He seems to like Keeneland. Maybe he's racing himself back into shape in his 3rd start back, but he's got to beat 2 solid horses. First Captain just has the class lines and really the accomplishments, and the horse on the rail, West Will Power, might have a strong pace edge.
Yeah, those were my 2 horses. I ultimately didn't go against First Captain as the favorite. I just think this is a great spot for him. But if I did decide to take a shot against him, it would probably be with the 1.
4, 1, 5, and 3 for Mike. We'll see if King Fury can finally get back onto the winning track. I'll take him. He's 8-1 on the morning line. It's the grade 2 Fayette, one of 2 graded stakes races at Keeneland on Saturday. This is the race of the day presented by DRF Bets. Good luck.